UFC 261. First off, I want to talk about the Weidman versus Hall fight. Ended by a TKO in 17 seconds in a way that we did not expect it to go. And another sad note, um, he took a kick, snapped his leg in half, like his shin in half off of a kick that he threw. 17 seconds in, had to be carried off. It was pretty nasty. Like, if you're watching a fight, like, you don't want to see that shit. Like, it was not fun to look at. I'm not gonna look at that again afterwards. You know, reminds me of stuff like I've seen it happen to Anderson Silva. You've seen like nasty shit like that happen to like Gordon Hayward, and who was it on the national US team that ran all the way and broke his too? Who was that? Katie? Paul George? Oh yeah, it was Paul George. Yeah, Paul George. So nasty things like that. We don't want to see him. But like, yo, good luck to Chris Weidman, former champion. Hope that you heal up. Feel bad for Hall too. I know he didn't want that fight to end that way, and hopefully he gets another one. So, quick note on that. But now we get into 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 championship title fights. So first off, we got Valentina Bullet Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. So this fight ended in a TKO, but this was by far the most dominant fight of the evening. This was abuse. This was dead ass abuse. So, for those of you that don't know, Valentina Shevchenko is widely considered the second greatest female fighter in MMA after Amanda Nunes. She actually came close to beating Amanda Nunes before. But she's a champion in her own division, and a dominant champion at that. Nobody can do shit, and she proved it tonight. Jessica Andrade was was a strawweight champion before. She actually took it from Rose, who then lost, and then she lost it to Weili, and then we'll get into what happened with Rose versus Weili later. So, what a domination, like absolute domination, this fight was. So Andrade, like, she is known to be a wrestler, and everybody going into this fight was like, if she's gonna beat Valentina Shevchenko, it's gonna be on the ground. She's gonna grapple her. She's gonna take her down. She's gonna play it like that. They ain't staying on the feet because she can't handle Shevchenko on the feet.
Yeah.
Shevchenko walked into this fight, and she's like, I'm gonna beat her. Guess where? On the ground. So, I think she tied a record, a strawweight, a flyweight record for takedowns in a fight. She had like 7 takedowns or something ridiculous like that on Andrade. Andrade couldn't do shit. She was trying to like pick her up and toss her. And if you saw Andrade versus Rose Namajunas, she picked her up and dropped her on her head, and that's how she got KO'd when she lost her belt. So Valentina Bullet Shevchenko, man, like, yo, respect the name, respect the fighter. She's a beast. She came in, took this girl to the ground, 7 takedowns, pieced her up on the feet, pieced her up on the ground, and then finished the fight off with a crucifix hold. So, KB, if you saw, it's basically like when you're sideways, you got one arm under, like, kind of like your head, and one arm between the legs, and you could basically just like go in on their head like this, because you basically got them held so they can't do shit to you. And she had her in a crucifix hold, punch, was punching the shit out of her face, and she's like, I'm ending this fight. Elbows. Like, and I say this many because there really was that many, man. She was going in on Jessica Andrade's face, man. And the ref saw blood, she saw blood, and she's like, alright, bro, if I keep going, this guy's gonna have to call the fight. And that's exactly what happened. She finished in the second round by TKO, but that was absolute domination. I don't know who's fighting this girl next. I want it to be Amanda Nunes. I want them to fight. It'd be sick if they fought for like each other's belts, or like one of Amanda Nunes' belts, because she's holding 2 right now. So,
I thought people were saying that no one would come close to Amanda Nunes.
Well, no one has. Like, she still lost to Amanda Nunes, but she came close. But like, Amanda Nunes, it's kind of like we're also talking about divisions too, right? Like they fought before, but they're not in the same division right now,
Okay.
right? Like
Yeah, okay,
she's a champion in a different division, right? But yeah, usually like she's kind of in the same boat as Amanda Nunes. There's nobody in her division that can do shit to her, bro. Like, and she really is a complete fighter. Like wow, is she a complete fighter? She's good on the feet. She's good on the ground. Like she's a monster. That shit was domination against like Andrade is a former champion. She's still young. Like that was ridiculous. That was like argument between this and the main event for best fight of the night. So next fight we got, my guy KB, you witnessed this. Rose Namajunas versus Zhang Weili. KO. First round. Nasty kick to the head.
that was fucked.
Honestly, I really really like Zhang Weili. I also really like Rose. So like either way, I would have been happy. But I kind of wanted Zhang Weili to win just because like I like both. I like the way they both fight. But like I don't know, Zhang Weili's kind of got like some meat on those bones. You know, like she got some. She's a brawler. You know, she gets messy with it, and I kind of like that. Like watching those types of fights. And Rose is very technical. And I like watching those types of fights too. But I don't know. Like I feel like it was a tough one. That was the fight I was most excited for. It ended quicker than I liked, but it ended in an exciting way. First round KO, kick to the head. Whaley wasn't happy about it, but like yo, that shit had to be called. Like that was it. You were knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, like she was done for, but she tried to fight her way back in and shit, telling people that the refs didn't see or whatever. Like she wasn't done.
But yeah, she's done, bro. Like that's it. Like unfortunately, so congratulations to Rose reclaiming the belt. It's been a minute since she had it. And I feel bad for Zhang Weili. She got to go back to her country where people are gonna be disappointed in her. And people I saw online like typical Americans. You know, they have to make this shit all about like America versus communism and this and that and this and like let's be honest, people. Like if you're a person, if you're like a famous person who lives in China, like you're like you have no it's like being a Russian, like you know, like you have no choice but to respect that government because they'll do some they're a fucked up government. Like you know, like you don't fuck with those people. So people who made it about politics and about like communism and this and that and like oh I'm so happy she got knocked out, fucking communist and this and that, like bro, like she's just a fighter, man. She's just a fighter from China. That's it. Like that's it. So just respect her as a fighter, a great fighter at that. Like if you watch Weili train, she's a beast. No, just like, and that's not me disrespecting Rose either. She's also a beast. She's from, arguably, I would argue the best team in the game with like one of the best coaches in the game right now. And I don't know, awesome fight, but like I don't like that whole like when people try to make shit about politics and stuff. But congrats to Rose Namajunas on getting that belt. And hopefully Weili can come back stronger, bro. She's 21-2. She's still young. She hasn't been in the UFC too long, even though she was champ. So she's got some time to come back around and turn it around. So now we're getting to my star of the week, Mr. KB. Mr. KB. Wow. Well, first of all, I gotta say, what a fucking card this was. This card was ridiculous. This card was amazing. If you missed this card, this is one of the best UFC cards that you could ever witness. Like one of the best that I've seen for sure. So we got blessed with 2 KOs tonight. So we go to the main event. Usman versus Masvidal. KB, you watched this whole fight, huh?
Yeah.
Like well, first of all, like, I mean, we're kind of skipping over the Rose stuff, but whatever. I kind of want this is the main event. I guess this is what we're gonna dive into deeper. But what'd you think, bro? Like as a new UFC fan, you witnessed that shit. Like, what do you see? What do you feel? Like, what'd you think of that fight?
Hey man, it's just crazy to me. Like from the get go, I knew Usman was gonna take that. Like they were complaining about how the last time Usman and Masvidal fought, like he only had a 6 days notice, this, that, whatever, and it was what's Masvidal's thing? Like he's a wrestler or something. Is that what it is?
No. Masvidal's a striker.
He's a striker. Or they were talking about how Masvidal was getting ready to have this fight more on the ground and stuff like that. And Usman didn't have it like that. He didn't plan on knocking him out or whatever. But like from the get go, like when I look at it, I thought Usman was gonna go eat it, bro.
Yeah.
Like that motherfucker looked hungry. Like I don't know. I heard you say how you thought like he was nervous and shit. Or he looked more nervous than usual. But like I don't know. To me, he still looked like.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm starting to look at it now. But to me, he just looked like he was gonna eat him.
I mean, like I always thought Usman was gonna win this fight. Like I had no doubt in my mind. Like he even admitted at the end, Kamaru, that he was. It's been a long time since he was nervous for a fight, so he was nervous for this fight. But like, I knew going in, I'm like, yo, Usman's winning this, you know. But there was definitely more like Masvidal has a better chance this time than he did the last time, and this was a much better fight than their last fight. Um, so the crazy fight, Usman with an absolutely nasty, and when I say nasty, nasty knockout of fucking Jorge Masvidal, bro. If you guys didn't watch this, man, literally like that camera angle, everything about it was beautiful. Like literally, like Usman came, like took the man's hand down and boom, flush to the face. My guy was knocked out, leaning on Usman, and Usman just went shoulder shrug, let him fall to the floor, and boom, hammer fist. And for those of you that don't know, Jorge Masvidal, okay, super popular fighter and all that, became really big because of his knockout of Ben Askren, which is the fastest in UFC history. We all know about that. We've talked about it before on the pod. And even if you're not a fan of UFC, you've likely seen it, especially with what happened with Jake Paul and stuff. I know that clip was on replay. But Jorge Masvidal has never been knocked out in his career. This guy's 36. He's I think he's at 50 fights or something dumb like that. Never been knocked out in his career. And before this fight, he was saying, Kamaru Usman, his punches are soft. His punches are soft. I don't feel shit. And like you saw a couple times during this fight, he got punched in the face and he was like, or saying like, yo, bring some more and shit, you know, like talking that shit. Yeah. And Kamaru Usman is the first person to knock him out. How, bro? You can't script this shit, bro. You can't script this shit, bro. Like
he asked for it though.
Oh, he was asking for it, bro. But this is what I'm saying, bro. You can't script this shit. The man is saying he's the softest guy. Like he punches, his punches are soft, and he's also never been knocked out in his career. And then he gets knocked out by the guy who he said his punches were soft. And like honestly, Kamaru Usman, bro, fighting through all that shit talking, fighting through the fact that they were playing in Florida, where Masvidal is from, and all the fans were booing him and stuff. For him to come in, champion, knock him the fuck out, put the belt on his pops and hug all his family and stuff after. Like, I love that shit. Like, now that Khabib's gone, in my opinion, Kamaru Usman is the best fighter in MMA right now. He is number one. After the displays he showed, after the domination he showed of the fighters he's fought, he's number one.
Who comes after him?
Who comes after him, bro? I don't know, man. Maybe Izzy. Izzy's up there too.
Izzy's in the same division as this guy?
No. Izzy's a champ of another division. But I think Izzy's the middleweight champ. Yeah, he's middleweight champ. So he's in another division. But I'd say probably Izzy. Like
I would never want to see those guys fight.
They're never gonna fight. They're never gonna fight because right now, for the first time, like the majority of champions are African, and it's the first time there's been 3 African champions, and they're the first African champions too. So you got Izzy, you got Usman, and you got Ngannou. So you got 3 African champions. They're not gonna take the belt away from another countryman, you know, like they're repping, like that's their shit right now. So exactly. That's been their narrative. So honestly, bro, big shout out to Usman. I feel a little bit bad for Masvidal. I like Masvidal too. I kind of haven't liked that, like the whole Jake Paul stuff that he's been doing, and like he's been talking a lot of shit and stuff. Like I think Kamaru deserved a little bit more respect, which they gave respect at the end, but you know, that's after getting knocked out. But I do like Masvidal too. I feel bad for him because now, like, it's done. Like, he's never going to be a champion. Like, he's old. Usman beat him twice. Like, he's not fighting Usman ever again. Like, that's it. That's done. So, I don't see Usman losing that belt for a minute, and even if he does, the person who's not gonna fight, like, I don't think Masvidal is getting a title shot again. So sucks for him, but like, hey man, wonderful career, like, you know. And I know he'll still fight, or maybe he might retire. The way he was talking at the end there sounded a little bit like he wanted to retire. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see what happens with him.
You said he's what, 36?
36, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably gonna call it quits.
50 fights, got knocked. The only reason I would see him like keep fighting is like I don't think he would want to end his career on a knockout. You know.
Yeah.
Like that's a tough way to go out. But man, what a card, people! What a card! If you're not a fan of the UFC, this is time, bro. These guys are pumping out these cards, bro. They're trying to take full advantage of that, you know, that COVID money, because they were the first to bring the sports back. They're the first to have a full arena. Like, stupid health wise or not, business wise, they're geniuses.
Like, I'm so surprised they let that just slide, especially in Florida.
What do you mean? That should make you less surprised. It's Florida.
Nah.
Florida, they don't respect the rules, bro. They haven't been. You know that. Like, Florida was one of the first places to open in the States and let people walk around freely.
Yeah, we still got cases going on and shit.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, you know, that's why I'm like, that'd be the first place in the States I think of to have a full arena first, is Florida. Yes.